Charlie, thanks for joining us this morning. I wanted to get you on and talk about some news that broke just a few hours ago. Pro Football Talk is reporting that Deshaun Watson is looking for a shorter contract with the Texans. Now, we've seen this evolution happen in the NBA where players are looking for these shorter deals to get a little bit more leverage. From a Deshaun Watson standpoint, and before we talk about the risks that are inherent with a shorter contract, explain why players are going this route.
Well, in Deshaun Watson's case, shorter term will still mean generational money. Let's say he's thinking 3 years at $112 million. That's $37 million per year and change. I think in a shorter term contract, he'd be probably seeking all of it guaranteed. Kirk Cousins, when he signed with the Vikings as a free agent, got 3 years, $84 million, every dollar of it guaranteed. Kirk Cousins was heading toward his third season with the Vikings. Minnesota then locked him up for 2 additional years because it did not want to get to a franchise tag situation with a player already making mega dollars. So let's say Watson gets 3 years, $105 million, just to use easier numbers. That's $35 million per year. Let's use that as the last year. The franchise tag for the Texans, if not precluded in the negotiations by Team Watson, would be 20% above that last year. Well, that would be $42 million. The franchise tag the year after that would be over $50 million. Franchise tag for third year would then be over $70 million. So if Deshaun Watson's thinking, all right, I want my big bag of guaranteed money that's going to set up many generations of Watsons, but maybe I'm not totally sold on this Bill O'Brien team builder guy. Well, I could conceivably get to free agency when I'm still not 30 years of age, and if I want a long-term mega dollar deal with a team of my choosing, voila. So I think the shorter contract is Watson thinking maybe in the next year or two the cap actually goes down. TV contracts, Monday Night Football is up after 2021. All the other NFL deals are up after 2022, meaning the next logical huge salary cap spike would be in 2023. So if Watson does an extension that gets him to that 2023, maybe no longer than 2024 neighborhood, all right, the cap is skyrocketed again. In the meantime, the percentage that a franchise quarterback of a team's cap figures to skyrocket with it. And then there's the football component of it that he's pledged or had pledged oath and fealty to all things Bill O'Brien, well, until DeAndre Hopkins was dealt anyway. Let's see where the Texans are over the next 2-3 years. O'Brien, for now anyway, has 3 seasons left on his deal. And then Watson maybe could play the field as a franchise quarterback, especially if he hardballs the Texans. If you want an extension with me, all right, I'll do 3 years, maybe 4 years, but forget 6-7 years. And by the way, you cannot franchise tag me at the end of it. In the end, different phase of his career, but that's how Tom Brady became a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. The Patriots bumped up his salary last year, but were not allowed to use the franchise tag on Tom Brady. He could then scoot to the Bucs. So Deshaun Watson, twofold. One, all right, I'm getting tens and tens of millions of guaranteed money that even if I have a calamitous injury or my play somehow goes down the dumper the next 2-3 years, I'm still set for this and 8 more lives of any cat out there. But maybe I can get to free agency before I'm 30 and have it be unfettered free agency where he truly can pick his team.
What's inherent in this risk here for Deshaun and the Texans?
Well, in Deshaun Watson's case, and we don't know how the Patrick Mahomes negotiation with the Chiefs is going to ride out, but Deshaun Watson can probably tell the Texans 7 years, $250 million. That'll be a little over $35 million per year over 7 years. The cap projects to go up over that time, but I mean, $250 million, and let's say half of it's guaranteed. It's $125 million guaranteed. Well, if he goes shorter term, we use 3 years, $105 million, just illustratively, and if all of it's guaranteed, well, that's still a sizable chunk lower in guaranteed money than if you do the longer form contract. But as a trade-off, and if you want control over maybe where you end up playing the back half of your career, so you weigh the risk versus reward of it. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys couldn't work it out, so Dak decides, all right, I'm going to sign that 1 year, $31.4 million guaranteed deal, hope he does not have some career-altering injury. Well, next year his franchise tag would be $37 million. A year after that, it would soar over $50 million. So Dak Prescott is not ceding any leverage in going with the one-year deal as long as he stays healthy and plays pretty well. He'll actually gain leverage in negotiating a longer-term contract with Jerry Jones because the price of poker on the franchise tag just becomes so exorbitant. I don't want to bog it down with numbers, but you franchise tag a guy, he's guaranteed a 20% raise over that figure if you franchise tag him a second time. If you want to franchise tag him a third time, it's a 44% raise over that second franchise tag. So, I mean, the money goes up not quite exponentially, but closer to it than incrementally. So if Watson is thinking, okay, I can lock up $100 million, maybe I could do 150, but I would then lose control over, say, ages 29 to 33 of my playing career, it's his call to make. I'm still getting $100 million guaranteed, but I will have more say-so over where I play, say, years 2023 through 2027 or 2030. If on the market, some team at that time comes to him with, say, 7 years, $325 million. So Deshaun Watson's downside, I mean, it's a downside for the Jeff Bezos and Bill Gateses of the world. But Deshaun Watson is holding the power cards in this negotiation.